Ryan Garcia undergoes successful hand surgery. What's next for Ryan Garcia? What are your views on Ryan Garcia? We're about to talk about all these things in this video. Let's go. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Listen to me, people. I don't know how you found my video, but you made it. Somehow, some way, you've arrived at the content. Help others find this video with the free and simple gesture by throwing a like on the video. You don't understand how important this is, and it goes a long way. Reach one, teach one. Now, Ryan Garcia, he underwent successful hand surgery. He says 2022 is gonna be his year. Wish him a speedy recovery. He says massive success. Now I have danger in both of my hands. Beware. I'm very happy. So we don't know. I think he said it was a handbrake. Wish him a speedy recovery. Now he had some form of hand surgery. The problem that I think a lot of people have when it comes to Ryan Garcia is it's a lot of talk. Non-stop talk. And in the world of boxing, that's not gonna get you too far if you're just talking. People wanna see action. Like Marshawn Lynch once famously said, "I'm about that action, boss." That's what people wanna see. He's in a famous gym, the Canelo gym, and ultimately people wanna see action from Ryan Garcia. That's just the reality of what it is. And this year has been a dud for Ryan Garcia. Now, what makes it worse when it comes to Ryan Garcia is this. Ryan Garcia, it looked like he showed a lot of promise this particular year by stepping up in class to fight a gold medalist like Luke Campbell. So people were like, okay, Ryan stepped up. He had a tough fight. He got dropped in the second round. He was finally tested against somebody that we've heard of, and he weathered that storm and hit him with a body shot and snatched Luke Campbell's body and pushed him into retirement. Fair play. However, Ryan Garcia, after that moment, it's just been all downhill. And the problem I have with a lot of these young fighters, like not a personal problem, but I'm saying the reason why it's not looking like the former fighters of yesteryear is because this social media could be a gift and a curse. It really can, where you have fighters who are utilizing social media in a good and bad way. For people like Ryan Garcia, he's almost got to 9 million followers by utilizing social media. So in that regard, that's a good thing. But it could also be detrimental when you hurt your brand by nonstop going on social media and talking and doing announcements before your actual announcement. That's where it can become problematic. And I think that's where Ryan Garcia particularly suffers. Even Teofimo Lopez is in that same category, where there's been a lot of moments where, if you look at it, Teofimo and Ryan Garcia, where they're at right this second, eerily similar. They both took step up in terms of caliber of opponent. For Teofimo, obviously was the guy that beat Luke Campbell. So his was regarded as a top quality Lomachenko, 2-time gold medalist. So he had the better opponent. But nonetheless, Teofimo took that challenge, and it seemed like a lot of people were on the Teofimo train and saying this kid is real. This gotta be, he got next. But look at how his career has played out. He hasn't been in the ring. By the time he gets back in the ring, he'll be out of the ring for 1 year. And Ryan Garcia, much of the same. He ain't fought since January. Now he had surgery today. He's been out of the ring. By the time he gets back, it will at least have been a year. Now I understand accidents happen and Triller defaulting, things happen. But both Ryan and Teofimo have exponentially made their situations, in my opinion, made it worse, because they went about it and they utilized social media and things of that sort to help push the vehicle forward, and then it came back to bite them. came back to bite them. And that's what I've seen. And Ryan Garcia, you know, he says his hand is hurt, but this is after several, and I mean, I'm not lying, I mean several fallouts where you had fights that you said, this is not, see, and this is the great thing about what I do. I sprinkle the breadcrumbs like Salt Bae. You know, all I do is sprinkle the breadcrumbs. I sprinkle the breadcrumbs in the game so you can go back and listen to my previous videos and there's a paper trail to everything I've done. That's the brilliance of what I do and making your shekels online. You know what I mean? You can do these things, and if anyone were to ever doubt what you're saying or what you stand for, they have a running journal and almost like a diary of all my work. And I told you that Ryan Garcia, you got a lot of respect from the Luke Campbell. But then what happened right after? You got the biggest win of your career, the best win of your career. Ryan then said he was fighting Gervonta. People got naturally hyped for it. They said, oh, you fighting Tank Davis? Ooh, that sounds like a fight, sign me up. Southpaw, killer power. Ryan got speed and power. They're both young fighters. So that could be this generation's Oscar De La Hoya versus Fernando Vargas, bad blood. You know, the two were linked to spar a particular period of time, things like that. And then Ryan was running around on Mike Tyson podcast and saying, oh, I'll knock Tank out. Give me 2 rounds. All I need is 2. I need 2 rounds. He was saying these things. And Mike Tyson like, hey, Tank, I got Ryan here. All of a sudden, Ryan saying he gonna knock you out. Then Tank was like, man, I'll crush him. So people got hyped. Ryan run around, got De La Hoya and other people holding up their 2s and 2 rounds. He told TMZ he gonna knock him out in 2 rounds. And then nothing happened. A week later, after this whole shenanigans with 2 rounds, then he came out and said, oh, I got some bigger fish to fry than Tank Davis. I ain't fighting no Tank Davis. I'm fighting Pacquiao. And people like, Pacquiao? Like Soulja Boy said, Drake. Like, you fighting Pacquiao? I believe it's up to my promoter. I will fight Ryan Garcia. Right? And people like, you fighting Pacquiao? Where did this come from? Then we were hearing that it just sounded more and more cap. People were saying it was going to take place in some billionaire's backyard or Dan Bilzerian backyard, you know, something. And people were like, what the heck? Needless to say, it didn't happen. Ryan literally told, there's an interview you can find right now on YouTube. And he says, I don't want nobody else unless it's Gervonta Davis or Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao has since fought Ugas after Errol pulled out because his eye, he had a detached retina. And needless to say, the fight didn't happen with Errol. Pacquiao loses to Ugas and then retires, says he's running for Senate. So that window is definitely closed for Ryan Garcia. We'll never get that fight. So the fact that he was out here posting flyers and stuff, all this stuff makes it look bad for Ryan Garcia. Look, this is the flyer. We got to work, man. We got to work. I told you, breadcrumbs. I left breadcrumbs all in this boxing game. So this was January 24th. So everything Ryan's been doing has just been yap, and talking. Now all of a sudden he's saying, your year went from gaining respect with Luke Campbell in January, beating him, right, and retiring him, to fighting Tank, which people now perceive as a clout chase, since Tank went on to sell out at the State Farm Arena or in Atlanta, you know, wherever he fought in Atlanta, against Mario Barrios, which was an epic fight, fun fight, did the backflip off of the turnbuckle like he Rey Mysterio, Tank Mysterio. And a week later, you switched up, say you fighting Pacquiao. Then it was an exhibition. Then they said it was a real fight. Then they said it was gonna be in someone's backyard. Then Golden Boy said, nah, we don't want, you know what I'm saying? Basically, it sounded like there's turmoil, like Golden Boy didn't really want the fight. So Ryan keeps, like Mike Tyson said, are you talking out of turn? He keeps talking out of turn and getting people fake hype. He said he would fight Devin, and then now he's saying Devin got to do more. He's supposed to fight Javier Fortuna, then he had too much anxiety. You know, so Ryan is quickly becoming the boy who cried wolf. And we'll see, hopefully 2021, 2022 is better, because 2021 is supposed to be his year. And it just hasn't been a luxurious year for Ryan Garcia. And a lot of that is just because of how he's moved through the game. He moved through the game in the levels like this. So naturally you're gonna get people who look at it and like, man, you cap, bro. You capping. What you're doing is not right. And I think fighters can use social media, but they gotta know when to not use and to turn social media off. Ryan, I don't know if he has that switch. So the same thing that made you could be the same thing that breaks you, and that's social media. Yes, you amassed this crazy following via social media, but at the same time, social media is crippling you when you say, oh, I got a fight announcement. Oh, I'm coming soon. Oh, it's about to go down. Fight announcement next week. And I'm fighting Pacquiao. I'm fighting Tank. And you get people, oh, I'm fighting Javier Fortuna. Oh, I'm fighting Joseph Jojo Diaz. And then in the end, you're getting injured and anxiety. It's a terrible year. He's honestly reminded me of Keith Thurman, and not in a good way. I'm talking about how Keith Thurman was saying, hey, this is my get back year. And, you know, I'm not gonna fight Errol Spence right now because I gotta get back. But the only big difference is Keith Thurman was, one, older, and two, Keith Thurman had already had big fights with Danny Garcia when he was undefeated, with Sean Porter, who only had one loss at the time. And he had already had the Diego Chavez fights and big cards. He was on the Broner Maidana. Ryan hasn't experienced any of this and had none of those like signature defining moments or championship level fights or unification, or like Keith Thurman fought Sean Porter, did 6 million plus views on CBS and all that. He ain't had these moments, and he's the one out here just kind of talking, and his hands hurt, but you doing the body shot challenge, hitting people as hard as you can in the body. I mean, is that healthy for your hands to be doing that? So I really feel like Ryan Garcia social media has helped him, but it's also hurt him. Wish him a speedy recovery if, you know, all this is true. His hand is so badly hurt, but I think there's more to it personally. I'll continue to elaborate in future videos. If you like the content, subscribe for the latest and greatest. I'm the best in the business, and I'm gonna continue dropping the heat. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? Is Ryan Garcia for real? Or, you know, do you think you'll have a better 2022? Holla at me.